My wife announced she was pregnant and demanded $10,000 for a celebration, then accused me when I refused. The DNA test proved the baby wasn't mine, and by the time I filed for divorce, even her ex had thrown her out. Original post. I, 33 male, had been with Melissa, 30, for 4 years, married for the last 18 months. We met through a running club, bonded over our mutual hatred of early mornings, but love of 5 Burmese chats. She worked as an event planner. I'm an accountant at a mid-sized firm. On paper, we made sense. In reality, things had been rocky for a while. Money was always a point of tension. I'm the save for retirement type. She's the live in the moment type. We had separate accounts plus one joint account for household expenses, which seemed like a good compromise. Except Melissa kept borrowing from the joint account for personal stuff. Designer purses, spa days, brunch with her girlfriends where she'd pick up the whole tab to look generous. We'd fought about it probably a dozen times. Last March, she came home from work acting weird. Giddy, kept smiling at her phone, pacing around the kitchen while I made dinner. Finally, she sat down across from me at the table and announced she had big news. "I'm pregnant," she said, grinning like she'd won the lottery. I froze with my fork halfway to my mouth. We talked about kids in abstract terms. Someday, maybe, when we were more stable. But we'd been careful. I was always careful. "Are you sure?" I asked. Took 3 tests. All positive. "We're having a baby." She seemed thrilled. I felt nauseous. Not because I didn't want kids eventually, but because something felt off. The timing, her energy, the way she was watching my reaction too closely. Wow. That's big news, I managed. "I know. And I've been thinking, we need to celebrate properly. I want to throw a big announcement party. Invite both families, all our friends. Do it right. Okay, we can have people over for dinner or something." "No, I mean a real party. I'm thinking we rent out that venue downtown, the one with the rooftop. Get a caterer, photographer, the works. Make it memorable." I blinked at her. "Melissa, that sounds expensive." I already got some quotes. "We're looking at around $10,000. I actually laughed. Thought she was joking. 10 grand? For an announcement party? It's our first baby, Brian. This is a huge moment. It's too much. We can celebrate without spending $10,000. Her smile disappeared. "You're not excited." "I'm processing. This is a lot of information. Most husbands would be thrilled. Most husbands would want to celebrate their wife and their baby. I do want to celebrate. Just not for $10,000 we don't have. We have it in savings. That's my savings. For emergencies and retirement." Her face hardened. "Oh, so now it's your money? I thought we were married." "We are married, but we agreed that account was off limits except for real emergencies." "Our baby isn't a real emergency." "That's not what I said." "You know what? Forget it. I'll figure it out myself." She stood up, grabbed her phone, and went into the bedroom. Slammed the door hard enough to rattle the picture frames. Over the next week, Melissa barely spoke to me. She'd stay late at work, come home, and go straight to the bedroom. When we did interact, she was cold. Her friends started texting me asking why I was being unsupportive. Her mom called and gave me a lecture about being a provider. I tried to have a calm conversation. Offered to host something reasonable at our house. Budget of maybe $1,000. She said I was being cheap and controlling. Said any real man would want to celebrate his family properly. Then came the accusation. We were supposed to have dinner with my parents. Melissa canceled last minute. Said she felt sick. I went alone, and my mom asked how I was handling the pregnancy news. I said honestly, I was stressed about money and the relationship felt strained. My dad, ever the practical one, said something that stuck with me. "You two were being careful, right? This wasn't planned." "No, definitely not planned." "Huh, just seems fast, that's all. You've been having problems." I drove home thinking about that. It did seem fast. And convenient. A pregnancy right when our marriage was struggling. Right when she wanted a big expensive party to be the center of attention. When I got home, Melissa was on the couch crying. Her friend Ashley was there. glaring at me like I'd committed a crime. "You told your parents I didn't want the baby," Melissa sobbed. "What? No, I didn't. Your mom called me. Said you told them I trapped you." "I never said that. I said we were being careful and it wasn't planned." "Same thing. You're telling people I got pregnant on purpose to trap you." "Melissa, that's not." Ashley stood up. "You're being abusive. Financially abusive and emotionally abusive. She's carrying your child and you're accusing her of lying." "Nobody accused anyone of anything," I said, keeping my voice level. "Can we talk about this privately?" "No," Melissa said. "I want Ashley here. I don't feel safe alone with you." That was when I knew something was seriously wrong. We'd never had a physical altercation. I'd never raised a hand to her. Never even raised my voice really. But she was setting up a narrative, and I was the villain in it. "I think," I said slowly, "we should get a paternity test." The room went silent. Ashley's mouth fell open. Melissa stopped crying and just stared at me. "Excuse me." Melissa's voice was ice. "If we're going to have this baby, if we're going to make big financial decisions, I need to know for sure." "Are you calling me a cheater?" "I'm saying we should be certain. For legal reasons. For everyone's peace of mind." "Get out," she said quietly. "This is my house too. Get out." She was screaming now. "Get out before I call the police and tell them you threatened me." I left. Stayed at a hotel that night. Then crashed with my buddy Dennis for a few days. I talked to a lawyer who told me I had every right to request a paternity test, especially given the circumstances. He also told me to document everything. The money demands, the accusations, all of it. When I came back to the house, Melissa was gone. So were most of her clothes. There was a note on the kitchen counter. "Stay away from me. My lawyer will be in touch." Her lawyer sent a letter demanding spousal support and money for pregnancy expenses. I forwarded it to my lawyer, who sent back a request for a paternity test before any financial discussions happened. Melissa lost it. Started posting on Facebook about how I was an abusive deadbeat who abandoned his pregnant wife. Her friends flooded the comments with support. My name was getting dragged through the mud by people who'd never even met me. But here's where it gets interesting. Dennis's girlfriend Sarah was friends with Melissa's co-worker. Through that chain, I heard that Melissa had been seeing someone else. A guy named Connor who she'd dated years ago, before me. They'd reconnected at some work event in February, started hanging out for professional reasons. The timeline matched up perfectly with when she would have gotten pregnant. I passed that information to my lawyer. He subpoenaed her phone records. Turns out Melissa and Connor had been in constant contact for months. Hotel receipts showed they'd been together at least 6 times between February and March. The paternity test happened in May. Court-ordered, both of us present, official medical facility. Melissa showed up with Connor, which told me everything I needed to know before the results came back. 2 weeks later, negative. 0% chance the baby was mine. My lawyer filed for divorce immediately. Sent the paternity results to her lawyer, to the court, to everyone who needed to see them. Demanded she retract her public statements and apologize. She never apologized. But the Facebook posts disappeared. Her friends went quiet. A few of them actually reached out to me privately to say they were sorry for believing her. The divorce was finalized in September. No kids. No shared property beyond the house which we sold and split. I got my half of everything, including the money she'd taken from our joint account. Court ordered her to pay it back with interest. But here's the really satisfying part. Connor didn't want to be a father. Once the paternity test confirmed the baby was his, he panicked. Told Melissa he wasn't ready for that responsibility. She apparently thought he'd step up, that they'd be together, that this was their second chance at love, or whatever story she'd built in her head. He moved to Arizona without telling her. Just packed up and left. Changed his number. Ghosted her completely. Melissa, now visibly pregnant and alone, tried moving back in with her parents. Her dad, who'd always been traditional and harsh about family values, told her she'd made her bed and needed to lie in it. They let her stay for 2 weeks, then asked her to leave. She ended up in a studio apartment across town. Working reduced hours because her pregnancy was complicated. No support system because she'd burned most of her bridges lying about me. The friends who'd called me abusive were conveniently unavailable when she needed help. Dennis saw her at Target once, about 7 months along, looking exhausted and pushing a cart full of discount baby supplies. He said she saw him and immediately turned down another aisle. I don't take pleasure in her suffering. Not really, but I do feel vindicated. She tried to ruin my life over $10,000 and a lie. She'd called me abusive, tried to trap me with a baby that wasn't mine, dragged my name through every social circle we shared. And in the end, everyone knew the truth. The guy she actually cheated with abandoned her. Her family rejected her. Her friends disappeared. She lost the marriage, the house, the financial security, everything she'd been trying to manipulate into existence. Me? I'm doing fine. Better than fine. Got a promotion at work in August. Started seeing someone new. Kelly, a teacher I met through Dennis. She's nothing like Melissa. Honest, independent, no drama. We're taking it slow, which feels right after everything. My parents apologized for not seeing through Melissa sooner. I told them nobody saw it coming, which wasn't quite true. My dad had suspected, but I appreciated the support. Last I heard, Melissa had the baby in November. A boy. I don't know his name, don't want to. That's her life now, her responsibility, the consequences of her choices. Sometimes I think about that night she demanded $10,000. How different things might have been if I'd just said yes. I'd be raising another man's child, still married to someone who saw me as a wallet, still dealing with the lies and manipulation. Instead, I'm free, and she's exactly where her actions led her, alone, struggling, and out of people to blame. That's not revenge. That's just reality catching up.